Welcome to Starting Out, the show that takes you inside the exciting world of entrepreneurship and showcases the incredible journeys of new business owners and budding entrepreneurs. Join us as we explore the challenges they faced, the lessons they learned, and the triumphs they achieved. Get ready to embark on a thrilling adventure as we uncover the secrets of success on Starting Out.
We're going to be talking today about something that will help you whether you're in business or you are a wannabe entrepreneur, or if you are working a full-time job. This is going to help you just get your life together. So tune in, sit back. I hope you all have your pencils ready because the biz chicks are getting ready to drop some nuggets on you. Fran, what do we have going on today?
Now, I got this checklist from Terry Savelle Foy.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And it's she had a download in there. And if you guys want to check that out, you can. But you can go and check that out at terry.com. Anyway, and the video was 12 minutes. I was like, oh, I like this. And she talks about order brings overflow,
which makes sense. I think we all agree with that.
Yes, having order brings overflow. So that's what we're talking about. We're not going to talk about the whole checklist that she mentioned. We're just going to put up a few. So one, order brings overflow. So get yourself in order. And we have Robin who has the happy, healthy habits. And we always talk about if you're not going to enjoy your wealth if your health is out of order.
Okay. So what I hear you saying is that your health should be number one. At Biz Chicks, we have our 5 F's, one of which is fitness.
Yep.
So sounds like fitness should be at the top of the list. And it makes sense because I know that when we used to work with clients, the first thing we would tell them is if mama's not healthy, the family's not going to be in good shape. Okay, because everybody's depending on mama to keep things in order, keep the schedule, get the kids here. You know what I mean? So take care of yourself.
I will say, to be quite frank, I feel like I'm always talking about the opinion that people feel but don't want to say. To be quite honest, having a checklist for life, when you first hear that title, you're like, oh my gosh, right? I feel like we've broken down what to do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, quarterly basis, but putting it all together, although we know, as Miss Francine said, when you need that oil change, right? When those tires need, even if you don't want to pay for them, when it's time to at least get it patched, right? And when you think about yourself as a person and putting everything in a checklist, that's actually pretty amazing. It just seems like so much, right? For me, fitness, I think it's a priority now as I get older because I'm starting to feel it, right? I feel like when we were younger, we had to get physicals to play in sports and we had to go see the doctor for different things, right? It was kind of required. Nowadays, most adults are forgetting to have check-ins with their primary doctor or their physician, or not taking vitamins, or like you said, not getting up, walking, stretching a day. And I have to remind myself all the time, it's not okay to go, and you're not taking time to make sure that you're healthy. I had to be reminded by someone the other day, make sure you're all right, make sure you're eating, drinking your water, right? Sometimes we forget the basics, and that is that is what gives us fuel, right? To do all the other stuff. So it's super important.
I think before we became adults, we had someone else watching over our physical health, our mental health, making sure that we were okay. You okay? Checking in with us, because people were checking in on their children. Did you eat breakfast? What'd you have for lunch? How'd track practice go? People constantly helping us keep a schedule, helping us eat healthy, exercise, even sometimes at the detriment of they're not doing it for themselves because they're so busy helping us. So I think that if we take that energy that we used in those circumstances and put it on our life, because we no longer have that kind of help that we are providing to others, then the schedule will be kept. I know if you have 3, 4 children, you got a schedule somewhere written somewhere or in your phone somewhere to remind you to pick up Johnny from track practice and Susie from piano lessons and that. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So don't neglect yourself, folks.
Which brings us to point number 2, rest.
Mm.
How much
Oh,
are we supposed to be getting again?
7 to 9 hours a night.
Okay. All right. Now, I do use the sleep app on my phone, which kind of
Oh.
tracks my sleeping pattern. So I do
Mhm.
believe I'm somewhere in between there. To be quite honest, I think there was a point in time where I was burning the midnight oil, especially within my business, especially at the beginning, you know, when I was doing all the things. I think now that I'm a little bit more seasoned, I'm like Miss Francine. I'm going to bed when my body tells me it's time, right? I used to have this thing where if my laptop battery was to die, that was my time to shut it off. Like, okay, we did a full, yeah, that was my thing. So rest, folks, is huge. I don't think that we talk about that enough. I think it's more so like, I feel like some people just collapse. Like if you do not have a routine, a real bedtime routine, a moment for you to calm, relax, maybe unwind, get away from your phone, unplug, then you may not be doing it the right way, right? I think rest and sleep are 2 different things.
Right. Sleep is sleep. Rest is mainly, I believe, for your mind and your mental, and just chilling, just
Relax.
just not doing that, because he told us, okay, God told us to rest 1 day out of the week, but whoever does it. And then we running around and want to know why it ain't working and why I'm tired and why I need to do point number 1, which was health and stuff, because we never take time to rest. You're not the energizer, and we're not made to go 24/7 without rest and sleep.
And back to our first point too, at earlier ages, we had a bedtime, folks. You know,
had naps.
In naps.
That is so true. Oh my gosh. Somebody regulating on our sleep, making sure we rested.
And made us go. I remember being in kindergarten. Everybody put your head down.
Yep.
To rest. They knew when you came back in from recess or whatever, everybody need to calm down. I think the teacher just needed a break, but everybody came in and we put our heads down to rest.
That's true, because as a teacher, I know that while your head was down, we were setting up the next activity, making sure that everything was in place, because we didn't want to be running around looking for crayons and pencils and things that were missing on somebody's desk.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I worked at a daycare for a little bit, and we just had everything in order right there, ready.
Right. And it says a lack of sleep affects your metabolism, blood pressure, your emotions, your mood, your energy, and your motivation to go after your dreams. A lack of sleep. So
that's why we create all these things like hangry and sleepwalking. And did you roll off on the wrong side of the bed? Yeah, you didn't get enough sleep.
And you don't want to be talking to your customers. If you got a bad attitude because you're not rested.
So decide to go to bed. Decide on a time to go to bed each night and aim to stick to it. So even if people get remember it was suggested the 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That means even if you are a late night owl, you still need 7 to 9 to sleep, and don't condemn yourself because you're not getting up till 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
When other people, the early people, you hear them early to bed, early to rise, blah, 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 blah. Not everybody's on the same sleep schedule.
That's what I was going to say. You know, if you are a morning person and the other people in your house are not, this can become a push and pull thing. And you got to let people know when your body functions best and when you rest well. So, and allow people to be who they are and to listen to their bodies. Because I know sometimes if you are in a relationship with someone who's up till 2 a.m. and you have to get up for work at 7, that's a problem.
and it needs to be communicated that I'm not staying up till 2 with you.
Right.
And you have to defend your rest.
I like that. Defend the rest. Because there's a scripture in the Bible talks about labor to enter into the rest. You need to defend your rest. You need to rest. He wouldn't have told us to rest if we didn't need to rest. Not that it was going to be, okay, what do we do with our phones at night? Do you not plug it up for it to recharge?
That's true.
Yeah. Do you not plug the computer in for it to recharge?
So that it's ready in the morning.
Right. So that it's ready when you need it. And you the whatever you're using it for, you can now use its functionality. There's nothing like going to do something and your battery is down.
And, you know, I've had to take some accountability on idolatry because I will say, oh, you know, I didn't get rest for different reasons. Like, you know, I used to tell myself all the time, I'm not a napper. But truth be told, if you turn off that television, you put that phone away from you, you could probably get a 15, 20-minute nap in. And so I had to realize, like, no, you're not taking the time to really unplug and give yourself the opportunity to rest. It's not that you can't rest. It's not that you don't have time to rest. It's scientifically proven that the lights on our phone keep us up. It is scientifically proven. Even the way that's always buzzing, all these notifications. Folks, parent yourselves and unplug. Unplug.
Parent yourself. I love that. Because if you really want rest, put it in airplane mode.
She's like, not even D&D. Turn it off.
If you put it in airplane mode, nothing is getting through. You're still on, you know, you're not coming up from zero. You can still see the time and stuff like that. But on airplane mode, you're not getting notifications. Not getting calls. You're not getting emails. All of that stuff is just being held at bay until you come out of airplane mode. And then you can go back and check stuff so that you're doing your disconnect without truly being disconnected. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You are disconnected, but not to the point where, you know, you can't, all you got to do is swipe it back on if you need it.
Makes sense.
Good morning, Dr.
This whole thing of rest, I think we underestimate its importance and the fact that we need to actually schedule rest.
We do. Schedule it, because if it doesn't get scheduled, it ain't gonna get done. And so that's why they were talking about decide on a time to go to bed.
You know, if you are having trouble sleeping, you may want to look up Jill Weston, because she will help you with your sleep patterns. And before you know it, when you finish doing a session with her, you're asleep.
And it's a really good, because she's helping you with the mind chatter and stuff that is going on that may be keeping you from resting. So again, you're not going to sleep if you're not at rest. And I know that sounds like it's a opposite thing, but if you don't rest your mind, it's hard to go to sleep.
It's sort of like if you're low on energy, you need to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
It seems, like it should be the converse, but
Right.
the
So,
inverse.
but
But
if you want to rest, I mean, if you want to go to sleep, your mind needs to be at rest, because you're
mm,
not really sleeping if you're tossing and turning, worrying about what's going to happen, because you're not rested.
mhm.
Right.
You need to rest to go to sleep.
I tell you,
Um, Go ahead.
a lot. One of the main things that keeps people up at night are their finances. People, you can't do anything about it during sleeping hours. The bank's closed, everybody's closed. Get some rest. And the other thing that keeps people up at night is their children. Listen, he that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. There's no sense in you and God being up all night. Girl, go to sleep. They done turn that phone off. Them kids don't want to talk to you. They'll call you when they need something.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be all right.
And that goes for any other family members. They're going to be fine.
It's gonna be okay.
Right. So the next thing to getting yourself in order is exercise. Dun, da, da,
Mhm.
da. Move. Some people would complain of having no energy, and exercise is,
Mhm.
that's just what Terry says, of everything that gives you some energy. And then, here's a point: do something that works for you. I don't
Yes.
have to do P90X.
In fact, I have a Pilates machine in my garage. Okay. I can't remember the last time I've been on it. It's in perfect shape. And I even had the nerve to go buy some some new cords on the internet. Never hooked them up. Never. Obviously, that machine is not working for me. I needed to find something that worked for me. And what worked for me, friend, was walking. Just
Mhm.
walking. It
Yeah,
exercises every part of your body and you can build up.
walking, swimming. What's your thing?
Yeah.
Find
Mhm.
out what's your thing and do it. Yes, there's a lot of products coming on the market. There is stuff that's happening all over the place, but it ain't for everybody.
Mhm.
And don't
Mhm.
focus so much on what you can't do. Focus more on what you can do. I know there was a point in time I was going to the gym like crazy, and then I just stopped. I kind of reached the goal. I think I was preparing for my birthday. I kind of the birthday ended, reached the goal, was kind of like okay, and was beating myself up that I just wasn't feeling motivated to go back, like return.
Uh-huh.
And then my friend had to tell me like, "Girl, you have a dog. You walk miles every day," and I was like, "You're right. My steps is high." So it's like, again, yeah, give yourself claps on the back for what you are doing. And
Mhm.
and if you want to set your sights higher next week for something else, that's fine. I'm always trying to hop on a Zumba call or do something extra, yoga classes, something. But I would say focus on what you can do. Don't focus on what you can't do, even if it's not every day, right?
Mhm.
Right. Just move.
Just move.
Just move. Just some kind of movement. And the next thing on your checklist for life is routine. Protect your mornings.
Mhm. Mhm.
This is
Mhm.
your time to focus on you.
That's huge. I think
And
going to bed and both morning routines and night routines. You need them both. You need them
they're
both.
non-negotiable.
Mhm.
Nobody should be invading that morning or that evening routine. Nobody. That's your time. Whatever it is, pray, meditate, exercise, have breakfast, whatever your morning, journaling,
Yeah.
Mhm.
reading.
And you may find that you have to get up earlier than the people in your household if you are parenting or whatever, or being a caregiver, or you may to get that time in that solitude, that private time devoted just to you, personal time, I guess is a better way to frame it. Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
So if you're gonna protect your morning, protect your evening, your repetition is your reputation.
Ooh.
Yes. I think I read a book that it was talking about most millionaires, and a lot of them get more of their time back through simplicity, through reputation. So it may be eating the same thing every other day, meal prepping. It may be maybe wearing simplistic outfits. Like I think Mark Zuckerberg wears like the same white tee, khakis, it may just be having the same morning routine, right? Making the same breakfast. Whatever it is, there is beauty in routine, I promise.
Uniformity.
Yes.
So the dog, do you change the dog's food every morning? I'm just saying the dog eats, cats too. They eat the same stuff every day with some water. We're the ones that have to have all the
switch it up.
Yeah.
Think about it. Figure out what our taste buds, right?
And
what am I craving?
Right.
They don't get a crave. They just get whatever we put in front of them. But the point I wanted to make was simplifying things. Having maybe every Monday you have spaghetti, every Tuesday is taco, every Wednesday is something, because it's on a routine, and you not having to think about prepping it and whatever. You can think it and make it, have it made and have it done.
Yeah, I personally love routine. There are some things that I just do on a daily, quarterly basis. It just makes me feel more comfortable, like maybe looking over my goals or looking over my finances or whatever that may be. But I will say that I think most entrepreneurs and even just professionals in general struggle with routine because it does require discipline at first. I feel like it's hard to think that something routine makes things simplifies things, but it does. It really does. But I would be lying to you if I did not say that it also requires a lot of discipline. You may want some spaghetti on a Tuesday, but it's Taco Tuesday. Stick with your Taco Tuesday now. Don't mess up the routine. Now, granted, we're human. If things happen here and there, sure. But there's a reason for it. No matter if it requires you saving on finances, saving on time, being more efficient, whatever it may be, I promise you that the long-term gain is a lot better than the short-term lack thereof, right?
I know my sister-in-law has a set grocery list. And when they want something, she just adds that to the list. So their eating pattern is pretty routine. And the other thing they do that I found really interesting is that they will make sure that the leftovers are gone. You know what I'm saying? Before they start adding things to the grocery list, which I thought was very interesting. So being orderly can save you time and money and your health. It hits all the boxes.
In the military, it saved time and the routine, getting up, doing the exercises, and doing
making that bed.
Making the bed first. Yes, had to make the bed. And
my grandmother was my grandfather, they were all about that. Before you leave this room, this bed needs to be in order.
But it does something when you're preparing for that night routine. It just does.
It feels good to get in there, doesn't it?
After it's made and it's like, oh, this feels good.
And when the corners are tucked, when you make those nurses' corners, it just feels good.
Yes.
So again, your repetition is your reputation. What you do one way is what you do.
Oh, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything.
Everything. We have a comment. And Dr. Tachi says, yes, I love a comfy bed. Good morning, Maureen. And then another thing on our checklist is personal growth. the largest room in the world is the room for improvement.
I love it.
Yes.
So we all can learn from experience, but you can also learn from the experience of others. So make you and your growth a priority. What are you reading? Because that's one of our F's, fertilizer. How are you getting your mind together? What are you reading? What are you learning? Maybe it's a new skill set.
The thing I love about reading is I get to benefit from other people's bought lessons. I tell my children this all the time. You can get this lesson for free from me because I already paid for it, or you can go out and buy your own lesson. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I read these books, I get to people who share their failures and their successes help me to grow. It's like, oh, there's the pothole. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And I can avoid the potholes because they've
Right.
already navigated the road.
Yeah.
One of the books that I read last year was Atomic Habits. I was like, oh, this is good. This setting up is so that you're not necessarily chasing the goal. You're setting up routines that are going to get you to the goal automatically. You don't ever have to think about, well, I will be blah, 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 blah. But if you set up the routine to do this, 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 and this, that takes you to this, you're setting up the routine, not necessarily the goal. Because a lot of times people are focusing on, okay, I'm going to buy the new house on the hill or whatever. But if you do the different little things to get you to your goal, for if you want healthy teeth, okay, I know I need to floss, I know I need to brush, I need to see the dentist or whatever, but you set up your schedule where your toothbrush is here, the thing you need to do, the floss is there, everything is set up in the bathroom, ready to go. And then when you get to the dentist, you're like, oh, your teeth are perfect or whatever, because you've already put the habits.
What I'm hearing is, if you do the work and you do checklist step 1, 2, 3, and 4, which was the health checkups, the rest, the exercise, and the routine, you'll know what growth area you need, right? And no matter if that's in a book or a community like Biz Chicks or a mentor, you'll be able to align yourself a little bit better with what you need to, or what you want to, I guess, refine or get better at. Sometimes, like I was talking about for routine requires discipline. I think personal growth requires accountability. Like, okay, where am I struggling? Yes, I want a routine, but why is it so hard for me to set a bedtime schedule, right? Yes, I want, healthier skin or better teeth, but what am I doing, right? Sometimes I think it's a lack of educating ourselves, being ignorant to something, or just not knowing, right? Which is okay. And I think that is why I just like you two, are big advocates for books, because a lot of what I did not know, if it didn't come from a person, it came from a book. It did, right. And especially in today's society, it's pretty difficult. Even, people say Google University, but you kind of have to be careful even now what you're Googling, right? Or what your sources are. So books seem pretty safe. Communities, people seem pretty safe, but yes, take some accountability, do a little personal audit of, okay, where do I want to grow? Where do I want to grow?
Right. And that takes some where you need to take a deep breath and look at something that may not look so lovely.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I need to do something about that.
I need to work on that.
And be okay to work on it. Don't beat yourself up. Just recognize where you need to work on it and then get to work on it.
And that's between you and God.
And the personal growth stuff is something that happens all the time. You're not going to just automatically grow without a little fertilizer. Fertilizer don't smell good.
Thank you.
It don't feel good taking a rake to the roots and doing stuff to.
But neither does failure. Failure doesn't smell good either.
And fail fast And then there's
Mhm.
pruning.
Mhm.
Personal growth requires some pruning. What do you need to stop doing? Or who do
Okay.
you need to stop hanging around?
Listening
Good
to.
one.
Right. Like Terry said, listening to. There are some podcasts that are not going to serve me. There are some, I'm very mindful about words that go in my ears. I can't listen to everybody.
There's
Right.
some friends that are not going to serve you because they're like, girl, why are you doing all that entrepreneur stuff? Just get a job. Da, 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 da. It can be very lonely being a solopreneur. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be around people who are going to encourage you,
Right.
help you, and direct you to resources.
Right. So this is just a small snippet of. We can talk about this to some more next week, but
I think so.
order brings overflow, people. And so having a checklist like a flight plan checklist, it will help you get to your destination. And that's what we are talking about with Biz Chicks today.
Thanks for watching.